Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in, because you're now watching the Bunch of Bull Network.
What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios like we are every Saturday. And tonight, I got two special guests with me. I have Darcy Saint and Lorelai Page. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Cannot complain.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Feeling good. Feeling
yeah.
good. Fresh off of Christmas, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a good holiday?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, so Lorelai, you're a returning guest, of course.
Yeah.
You said you were going to come back and join us, and I'm glad you did.
Yes, I did.
This time you brought a friend with you, Darcy Saint.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you
Absolutely.
for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to get to know you a little bit better. Last episode, if you guys didn't get a chance to check it out, Lorelai Page episode, so make sure you guys do that. We had a good time. We spoke about a lot of the history, a lot of what made you the artist you are
Yeah.
today. Of course, the evolution of you.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of evolution that took place, right? And it's
Oh, yeah.
still going on, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And you had some announcements that you were holding off for
Oh, yeah.
for the last one, but you said today you'll let us
Yeah.
into some of that that's going on. I should start with how you two got together, right?
Yeah.
How the track Ghost came about, right?
Well,
Because that's the newest single
Yes.
that you guys are pushing.
yeah. So I opened. No, actually, the first time I met you was Millville
Millville, yeah.
Music Festival.
It was Millville.
And then you asked me to open for you. And then you moved to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on my 22nd birthday, which happens to be his.
We have the same birthday.
Also
Oh, you
birthday.
guys are twinning.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never met anybody else with the same birthday.
That's
So
dope.
when we met and
Yeah.
we both made music and we both had the same birthday, I was like, we need to make a song at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely that needs
And
to
then
happen.
we
Yeah.
made it. It was either the day before or on our birthday. I think it was on our birthday.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was either on or like the day before.
Yeah, because I think it was the day before, because that night I went out and then like midnight, like celebrated, took the birthday shot. But I don't know, it was like a blur that few days, just kind of
Yeah.
partying, celebrating.
Having a good time.
But yeah, I was like, hey, I'm coming out to Nashville. You're out in Nashville. Let's meet up, have a song. And then he had a track already kind of like mixed and produced. So he played it, first thing he played. And I was like, ooh, I like this. And just
Yeah.
started going back and forth. We were just kind of talking too about like, you know, the music industry and like how it feels, you know. And then I can't even remember what we were talking about, but he had said, can you start to see it? And I was like, oh, that sounds like, you know, something I could like work with, you know? And then just kind of took like what we were talking about into like the song, into like the industry, and then just went back and forth
Yeah.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
very dope. So the song really came about from a conversation.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to thank you because that whole process did push me and put me out of
Yeah.
my comfort zone in a few ways. That
Yeah.
was the first time I'd ever tracked vocals in front of other
Really?
people.
Wow, yeah, that's right, you
Um,
did tell me that.
Because I was like, initially, like, I wanted to like have you do your thing, and I'd be like, oh, I'll go do mine like another day.
And I was like,
But
no, let's do
Yeah,
this.
I was like, I can't kill the momentum, so
Yeah.
I had to do it, and
Yeah.
that pushed me to grow as a
Yeah.
performer and an artist, and so
Nice.
that was something really cool.
Yeah.
But
And
for
it
me
only-
personally, that came out of that, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. And it only took a couple hours too. Like I think it was like 3-4 hours. It was done.
Yeah.
And then like I think there was like a few vocal things I had to do. He sent me
Mm-hmm.
over like the backing for it. Just sent him over a vocal, and then boom, it was
Yeah,
done.
that's the song.
So Darcy, you said Lorelai said whenever she came, you already had everything mixed and ready to go
Yeah, I
for the
had.
most part. So what was the inspiration for you? How did you start on the song Ghost?
So I the album that I had made before that, there was a song on there that Lorelai had mentioned that she liked 20-something.
Yeah.
And so when she was coming for a session, I decided I would just pull up some instrumentals I made around that time because they were kind of had like similar vibes, simpler instrumentation. And a lot of the times when I'm like making something, I'll have an initial idea and I'll run with it. Sometimes it ends up going all the way. Sometimes it gets like 70, 80%. And
Right.
in this case, that was one of those where like I had the instrumental, I had all the things recorded, but like lyrics, melodies weren't coming to me. And I
Right.
had this for like a year. So I was like, well, I'll play it. I honestly had a few others that I thought
Yeah.
were cooler and she would like, but that was the first one I played, and like immediately she was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And
I was
like
like,
immediately
pen
she
and
started
paper, where?
writing. Like she was off to the races with
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
So you said you had this one about 80% done. What did
Yeah.
you have? Did you have vocals on there, or
it was
was it
just
just straight
the
instrumental?
the instrumental is pretty much as it was,
Okay.
but none of the lyrics were written. Obviously, none of the vocals were in there.
Right.
All that came after
Later
once
on.
once Lorelai came
And then
down.
that guitar, and then because you
Yeah, the
added something.
guitar's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the
was
guitar.
that
yeah.
after? It might have
Yeah.
been after.
Yeah, I think it was because I think you didn't really have, you had something else as the instrumental for that part or something. And then I remember being like, give it a little more grit, like give it a little more. And then I remember the in the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we added
yeah, we did add
those.
that.
And yeah, and then just kind of like little backing things. But yeah.
Hell yeah. So, Darcy, so you made the instrumental. Do you do production as well?
I do.
Okay.
I started producing out of necessity because I wanted to have my own songs, but I didn't have like the money to hire a producer, and
Sure.
I got Fruity Loops like probably like a decade back and started learning that, and that's still what I use to this day.
Yeah.
So now I produce mostly for myself, but there are a few other artists I'll produce for if they want me to. I'm very particular about who I collaborate with.
Sure.
But I do all my own production, and sometimes for other artists as well.
So what was it that you seen in Lorelai that made you want to work with her? Because you said you are particular about the artists that you work with. What was it about her sound, that made you say, yeah, I definitely want
So
to
the
collaborate with her?
the most superstitious part of my brain said, we have the same birthday.
Yeah.
That's enough for me. But beyond
Yeah.
that, I think Lorelai is very driven. I think there's a lot of artists that
Yeah.
have immense amounts of creativity, but don't necessarily know how to take the steps to allow that to materialize into something.
Right.
And like I met Lorelai, and like she had like I think like a 30-song album out. One of the first things she said, she was like, I just put out this 30-song album. It was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And I went and I like listened to it, and I was like, it's bold as hell to put
Yeah.
out, like, this is my first record. I'm doing a 30-song album. I was
Yeah.
like, I know a lot of artists that have been doing this for years and years and don't even have 30 songs total.
So
and so
Yeah.
that to me was like really
Yeah.
impressive. Just
I did
that,
take it
that
down.
she was someone who took the. I noticed that.
Yeah, it needs polish.
Character development.
That was the second one.
Okay.
Cinematic experience.
Cinematic experience,
Yeah. And it was my first product. So of course, like, vocals aren't the greatest, production might not be the best. And then there were some personal things on there. Honestly, it was just like the story of my life, and I just kind of through a mental breakdown at 17 had this huge idea to take songs I had written my entire life and just boom onto a whole. And then I wrote a few extra songs for the end, gave it like the whole feel, and then just was like, here you guys go. And then I made character development, developed as a character, and was like, yeah, we'll revisit this, because I have that vision and I think I can make it better and come across better.
Right.
So maybe when I'm 30, I'll release the 30-track album and
30 for
like,
30.
yeah, right, whenever it's polished and it has more of a developed feel, and I learn a little more, and
No,
yeah.
certainly. I know you spoke in great detail about that, and some
Yeah.
of the songs that were personal to you your last time here. So
Yeah.
make sure you guys watch that
Oh,
episode
yeah.
if you want to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we did deep dive.
did
Well,
deep-
you
we
did
definitely
too.
did.
You came prepared. I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
yeah, always. We're gonna, we got to. It's you,
Yeah.
right? So, Darcy, you haven't been here before, and I do want to know a little bit about, your origin story, if you will, how you come to find yourself a participant in this thing called music.
Sure.
And I noticed that you said you did it out of necessity, the production end of it. And it's a story that I hear so often by artists, is the necessity aspect of it, right? You don't have access to producers, you don't have a way of knowing how to get a producer, so you got to do it yourself. And Fruity Loops is such a good foundation, such a good start. So for you, did the production come first, or were you doing music? Like, were you doing vocals first? What came first for you? in music?
Vocals came absolutely last. I didn't start singing until a few years ago, and it wasn't until this year that I would really even describe myself as a competent singer. This year I really put a lot of work there to get more comfortable as a frontman and with my vocals. But
Yeah.
I started at 11. I started playing guitar, and a few years into that, I started writing songs. It was very much an outlet. I was writing just what I was feeling. I was writing what I was thinking. It was just a place that I could channel thoughts and feelings that I didn't have another place to put them into. And eventually that turned into like a genuine love of the craft and like the methods and the approach to it. I played in a few bands over the years. I had a high school band. I joined a few bands after school, just around in different places. I think I've really learned a lot. The thing that's helped me learn more than anything is just being in rooms with people who are way better than I was at what I wanted to do.
Right.
And so I've been really fortunate to go places where people have been immensely talented and willing to let me kind of see their process and also share their methods and that information.
Is that something that's important to you in your creative process, is learning
Absolutely.
from others who have done it?
Absolutely.
Others that have been there?
Yeah, I think so. I think I tend to make my worst stuff when it's just me in a bubble making whatever I'm feeling is like, I'm trying to think of how to word
Does
this.
it feel forced?
Yeah, like I think
Yeah.
when it's just me in a room by myself and I'm not considering how other people might react to something,
Sure.
then that I tend to make a lot of my like worst stuff. I think when I show people stuff and get feedback and I'm working with other people and seeing other people's process, I just pull from a lot of influences, and that really keeps me from having my own ego get too out of check and getting really like hung up on ideas that like maybe could be more fleshed out or maybe should be pulled back, you know?
So people are your inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. So you said you started off with bands. What made you decide to go like on your own and venture off to be a vocalist and do the whole nine by yourself?
My first band, I was the guitarist and I wrote the songs, and it was really fun. But eventually that band broke up. You know, we all had other stuff going on. We were in school. One of our guys graduated and he went on to have like a job. But like I knew pretty young that I wanted to do this as like a career.
Yeah.
And so it got to a point where I realized like the amount I wanted to put into it was a little more than like a lot of other people I had known. And so just the speed in which I wanted to move and the directions I wanted to go, it was just a
Some
lot.
other people were slowing you down?
I wouldn't
Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't say slowing down. I would just say that like our intentions and like the goals were different. I'm very much someone who like, this is what I want to do and I'm going for it like completely.
Right.
So I find myself liking to work with people who are on the same page about that. And at that time, especially being from like a smaller town, Pennsylvania, I didn't really know a lot of people that were like that.
Right.
So it just like with what I wanted to do, it just like made a lot of sense in that bubble to just like be my own thing.
Venture off.
And now I'm at a point where I have met some really amazing frequent collaborators that I work with regularly. But for a time, when I started being a solo artist, it was just kind of because I didn't really know anyone else that wanted to go at it in that method. So that was how that started.
So you say now that you've been doing it, you found more people who are like-minded. And that was one of the things you said that made you want to work with Lorelai. You said that
Absolutely.
She had an amazing work ethic. Her first project had 30 songs.
And I should add talent. I didn't mention it, but she is immensely talented,
you.
and that was also a factor.
So you
I
guys,
appreciate that.
you
You
guys-
are too.
Thank
you guys
you.
said you met at a show.
Yeah.
We did.
Tell me a little bit about that show, that first show that you guys met at.
Millville Music Festival. I was just singing with a band, just filling in for like a song, like kind of just spur of the moment thing. And then just kind of hanging around, and then there was another person who performed that we knew, and just kind of like in and out of bands all day. And then we kind of were sitting at the same table, and I was just like, hey, who are you? What do you do here? And then we just kind of got to talking, and then I don't even know how our birthday got brought up, but it was just like, we were,
Just happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You remember it about the same?
Yeah, it's kind of vague because I think I had either played just before or just after that. My
Yeah.
friend, I was playing Millville with my buddy Randy, and I was in his show and he was in my show, and they
Right.
were like one was each day, so we were just like going around doing all the things, and then that was another stop in the whole ordeal that was the festival. So
Yeah.
some of the details get a little lost.
Yeah,
In the,
Sure.
yeah. And then I played, I went all 3 days, and then I think I only played like that middle day. And then whenever he asked me to open for him, like I remember just like talking with him, and I was like, you know what, I like the vibe. He came out with the song 20-something. I had that on repeat. And then it was at Preserving Underground, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah. And then it was a really good show. I remember like he sat on the floor with the guitar too. It was a really good moment. Like it was like that, I don't know, like every star has that like moment where it's just like peace and quiet and they're just very open and vulnerable, and it felt like, I don't know.
Flow state, if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
I feel
you.
like you were. And then when I was out in Nashville, I was like, hey, it's our birthday. Let's make that song. And yeah.
Yeah, no, very much so. So, I know you like to collaborate with a lot of artists as
Yes.
well. You've done a lot of collaborations throughout your
Oh yeah.
throughout your musical career. Are you the same way? I noticed the Crystal Visions, right, is a collaboration as well.
It is. That's
Yeah.
my friend Miriam Benjamin. She's phenomenal. She's a great artist in her own right. She has an EP she's working on with some really amazing songs on it. I met her in Nashville. We were working at the same Trader Joe's, actually. We were working at a Trader Joe's together, and we met, and we hit it off. So we've collaborated on a few songs over the years, and we have some more stuff in the works as well.
Very dope.
Nice.
Now, do you like to work with other artists? Is collaboration? I know you said you draw your inspiration from people. So do you enjoy the collaboration process?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes with like Darcy Saint specifically, it's kind of a way where like every year or so I'll make an album, and it's very much like a benchmark and a almost like putting a flag of like where I was at that time.
Yeah.
So the Darcy Saint records tend to be very like me oriented, not without feedback and not without some level of collaboration. But it's just like a different approach. I love to collaborate and do songs like with other people and for other people.
For sure.
So when we had like Ghosts, or like there's a song I'm working on with Miriam right now, I like to go into things being like, this is your song and I'm here to support and I'm here to be like a tool. But
Yeah.
like I honestly, my favorite way to collaborate is to like be that for another person's vision, because I find it takes so much of the pressure of like being the artist and being the thing off. Like I love being like support on other people's stuff. I find that really enjoyable.
Yeah, like you said, it takes a lot of the pressure off, right? You don't have to worry about, driving the car as much. You don't have to worry about steering the direction of the music or the track. You can let it kind of someone else do it, and you, like you said, fill in, just come in where needed and enhance that experience. And certainly, I can feel that in Ghost, right? I can feel that energy in Ghost. Maybe we should get into it, huh? We should play for the
Ghosts?
people?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure. You guys got anything else you want to tell me about Ghost before we get started?
Well, Ghosts, I'd say
I know you told us about how it came about, how it
Yeah.
was created, yeah.
Honestly, it is one of the biggest tracks that I have out right now. Over the past few months, it has been gaining traction. It started with just a few streams every single day. Now, the past couple days has hit 50 streams every day because a couple playlists that I sent you the other day,
Yeah.
it's starting to get on playlists now. So,
Playlist and cheese.
yeah, on Spotify and on YouTube. So I'm trying to get off of Spotify and go towards YouTube more because they pay artists more. Trying to get us paid. Yeah, no, Ghosts, everybody seems to really love that track, and it seems like our message kind of got pretty clear to it, and it's one of the biggest tracks that I'd say, like, as an artist, I have the most fun pushing it. Like, I have the most fun, like, wearing that kind of outfit. Like, I went to Salem, took that whole bunch of videos and photos, and, I went for a trip, but just kind of used the opportunity to push it. And then anytime I wear, like, that kind of black and white themed and just, like, go into that own aesthetic, it's so fun to, like, see that actually.
Character of yourself.
Yeah, it's so cool to just, like, see that actually visualized. I feel like that song has, like, its own aesthetic, and yeah. I hope people see all of
It
that.
deserves all the extra visuals and get
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. What do you think it is about this song that resonates with people? What do you think it is that made this your biggest song so far?
A lot of creatives have, like, reached out to me specifically. Not really, like, people who don't, like people who have, like, regular day jobs, like my friends, like, from high school and stuff. Like, they wouldn't really comment on this song, but a lot of my creative friends did. And they all said that's exactly how they feel. As a creative, they feel like they're trying to climb up that ladder, and it's like they feel like they're getting, kind of drained, and, like, can you see it on my face? Can you see all of the pressure of just trying to break through these barriers, and a lot of people were able to resonate with that in Ghosts, so, and it's catchy. It gets stuck in my head.
It's a great song.
Oh yeah.
You ready for me, Jess? We're gonna play Ghost by Lorelai Page and Darcy Saint.
That's my favorite part.
That's the best part.
It is the best one. This is streaming on all platforms. Of course. We
Make
good?
sure you find Darcy Saint.
Make sure you find Darcy Saint. Oh, while we're here and we're waiting to get the music together, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys on social media? If people want to get a hold of you, follow your story. If people want to reach out for a collaboration, what's the best way to do that?
I'm on Instagram. It's Darcy Saint Official. I have a website too, www.darcysaint.com. It's
Okay.
pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
And Lorelai Page, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, YouTube. Few music videos out on YouTube, and then my music's on like Spotify, iTunes, all of that jazz.
Make sure you guys stream it. This is Ghost. The feedback. Yeah. Don't get along.
Keyboard complexion, emotionless reaction. You can't get distracted here. Replay the sound in your head so you won't forget destination. It's clear. Look at what happens when you're not committed. Your souls are taken up inside these cages. You're in it for the right reasons, just waiting to go up those stairs. Sitting in the basement, watching the time tick, disappearing without a trace. Wonder if this house is haunted by the ghosts of wasted potential and grace. Can you start to see it? Can you start to see it?
Can you see it on my face?
Can you start to see it? Can you start to see it?
Can you see it on my face? Like a ball and chain, you got a tight, tight hold. I work myself all day, don't wanna end up old. And counting my mistakes and counting all the days I could have done something great. If you want it bad, then gotta make a plan and get out of your own damn way.
Sitting in the basement, watching the time tick, disappearing without a trace. Wonder if this house is haunted by the ghosts of wasted potential and grace. Can you start to see it?
Can you start to see it?
Can you see it on my face?
Can you start to see it?
Can you start to see it? Can you see it on my face?
That's Ghost by Lorelai Page and Darcy Saint. Make sure you guys stream that everywhere. Yeah, definitely catchy, right? Definitely a vibe. So you guys collaborate you bring her on to open up for you on your show. Um, what made you think about Lorelai whenever you were putting the show together for yourself?
I honestly do not remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember how that led up to that.
yeah,
I don't know. Things just kind of happen, you
Yeah.
know? Like, there are people that I've had open for me, like, and then I've opened for another artist, Luna. I don't even remember how I started opening for her.
yeah,
And now she's opening for me, and we did a song together, and
yeah.
yeah.
Just those relationships that you build through music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You find people who have common interest in things that you have a common interest in, and it's a special thing to be an artist, right? It's a lot of things that come with it, especially an independent artist at that.
Yeah.
That a lot of people who aren't in it can't relate to.
Yeah.
So to have someone to share those experiences, those highs and those lows with, it does create a special bond.
Yeah.
Because that's the only person that can understand how you quit music every day, but you still continue to do music.
Yeah.
You know, how you get frustrated that you're not getting the places you want to go, or where you think you deserve to be, even though you're making progress, right? It's tough. It's things that your normal person doesn't understand, but
Yeah.
when you find someone who does understand that, you build a certain type of bond. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it comes easy, so I can
Yeah.
definitely see how it would come together for
Yeah.
you guys.
Could have probably been because I posted 20-something a million times.
Who's to say?
I was probably hitting him up every day being like, this song is amazing. He's probably like, all right, she can open for me or something.
What was it about that song that you liked?
It was so realistic, honestly, you know.
I was on some sad shit.
Hey, you know, maybe I was on some sad shit too, so.
It's part of the process.
And it just like clicked, you know, and then like the chorus, it's insanely catchy. A lot of your music, it just like, the choruses get stuck in your head, you know, so. I think it was just stuck in my head so much that it was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Plus, like, your lyrics, like, I don't know, you definitely get straightforward with the lyrics, especially in Ghosts, you know. I gave you the vibe of the song, and you were like, all right, ball and chain, and I was like, perfect, here we go.
Something I've learned, a friend of mine, Lo Jones, taught me is write lyrics the way you speak. And I think
Yeah.
I tend to speak very, like, literally matter of fact, and that definitely comes across in my songwriting
In
as
your
well.
creative process.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a very like information-oriented person, so when I write, I tend to just like write like thing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Direct,
Yeah.
straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So I do want to play some of your stuff as well, Darcy.
Oh, sure.
Should start with 20-something.
We should start with 20-something?
I don't know. That one's kind of
What?
it's different. It's different than the stuff I'm doing right now.
Okay, that is true.
How do you feel about? Do you know On the Men's? Do you know that one?
Was that on your latest one with
Those-
the two skeletons
Yeah, it was from
together?
earlier this year.
Yeah, I do
I like
it.
that one. Pretty Hair is like popular. I guess
Yeah.
that one's fine.
Well, it is up to you.
Could we play Crystal Vision since that one
Yeah,
just came
your
out?
newest, because it just came out
Yeah.
today, right?
I'd
Yeah,
love
I
to
would like
play
that. I would like that as well. So tell me a little bit about. Tell me a little bit about Crystal Visions.
Sure. This is one that this was the first. I stopped smoking 6 months ago, and this was like the first song I wrote after that. And I started producing it in Logic, which I never use, but
Yeah.
Logic has a lot of really cool guitar amps and stuff, so I was really playing around with those. And then I ended up like going back to FL and exporting them and moving them over there and using some FL amps and some live amps, and the mixing was like a very messy process.
Yeah.
But I had this idea where I was like, what if it's like a song that evolves, and like the start is like this guy who's like, he's just like getting his money, and he's very like business oriented, because that's how I kind of was this year. I was just focused on the mission, but not really like spending too much time like feeling or being like a person, and I was very much just like focused on getting things done and getting where I wanted to go. And so the idea for this
Focused
song,
on the destination and not the journey so much.
yeah. I was definitely leaning a little too much in that direction. But the idea was like, what kind of story could I tell here that would be compelling and musically and thematically? And it was like, what if there's this character and he meets this girl who like brings him back to her place, and like she kind of like peers into his soul and goes into this crystal and like looks into the ethos and is like, you're a selfish motherfucker, and that's your she like kind of like gets to the root of it.
Yeah.
So the song like develops in a way where there's like a beginning, it's kind of slower, I'm singing over the guitar, And then there's like some instrumental stuff. There's like a spirit chant, and then there's like an outro that's really psych rock and jammy. And when I was writing the song towards the end, I tried singing it, and I realized that like it made more sense both musically and thematically to have another person sing on that. And so I called my friend Miriam, who I've collaborated with a few times, and she was super down to work on it. She's great. And she came over, we did a few sessions, she tracked the vocals, we did the spirit chant, we did all kinds of things where we would like stand closer to the microphone, farther away, we do like a deep throat voice, we do like a shrill, like nasally voice. We did one where I was like, you do your Joker voice, I'll do my Batman voice, and we'll do like the chant or whatever. We got some cool layers in there. So it was a really fun process making this one. It's very different than the rest of my catalog and her catalog. I find anytime I collaborate with someone, we tend to make something that sounds like nothing either of us have made before,
Right.
and that's always really exciting, and that was
exciting.
certainly the case with this one.
Hell yeah. No, I like that. Do you usually try to tell stories through your songs? Are you usually that in depth with your storytelling?
I think it depends on the song. Like sometimes, like I think to have a narrative, to have a song or a story that starts in one place and ends on another and has a journey that is tangible and you can understand and go through the steps of, I think that tends to make for a compelling song, compelling media, you know. I love movies. I love watching movies and thinking about them, and I don't make movies, but like I do often think about like the beats in a story and the beats in a movie when I write a song, and that was certainly the case for this.
You were writing a soundtrack.
Yeah, in a sense.
All right, we're going to play Crystal Vision by Darcy Saint. Streaming on all platforms?
Yes, sir.
All platforms.
I wander down the road, alone and jaded. I'm busy stacking up my gold, and don't you take it. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't need some reassurance and a little comfort now and then. So when I'm tempted, I'm easy. This woman intrigued me and brought me to her home. She said, do you believe in God, divine and voodoo? I said, I see her in the songs. And what's it to you? She took me back into her room and turned out all the lights. She took my hand and said, hold on, we're meeting her tonight.
sick.
And it's Jared Ives on the drums, I forgot to mention.
Yeah, don't want to forget that, man, for sure. So you said you made a move. I'm sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
Sorry. So you made a move to Nashville, and this is where you met Miriam at?
Yeah, actually, this is I moved to Nashville this year, but this was my second time moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
The first time around, I went down there without much of a plan. Just spent a lot of time like being reckless, indulging in things that weren't necessarily sustainable, and eventually burnt out and moved back home. Now I'm back this time, I think, with a more of a plan, more of a level head. But I met Miriam that first time, and she was a friend I was able to maintain and build that relationship with over the course of the whole journey.
Yeah. So what was your intent the first time you moved to Nashville? I'm sure it was much of it was like the second time around, but I'll let you tell me, what was your intent when you moved to Nashville? Was it for music?
Yeah, I think in my head my intent was like, be awesome, and then I'll have a music career because I'm awesome and good at music. And then you get there and you realize that like Nashville's very different than small town Pennsylvania, and it's very humbling, and you have a lot to learn, and that was definitely the case. It was also like I was living pretty far away from home. My car broke down, so I needed to get a new car. I was paying to rent in Nashville, so it was a lot about learning to navigate just like living too. And like for a while I was working 2 jobs and doing like 60, 70 hours a week, and I like barely had time to do music. So it was a lot about like learning just like life. And
at that point.
yeah, but I don't regret doing it. I learned a lot from it. But I think definitely when you're starting out and you're trying to build something I've learned is like you have to be like very careful with like how you use your resources, your time, your energy, and your money. And so like if I'm working like I still work full time, I have a day job, I cook, and that just is a thing that like you have to maintain. There's all these things you have to maintain and sustain before you can even really go at doing the thing you want to do, or else like that's gonna fall apart because it has to be built, I think, on top of like a stable foundation. And that was something I had to learn. I think for a while I thought I could just like kind of blow off all my responsibilities and do music, but as I found, doing music is a responsibility, and it is a thing you have to maintain. And I find that being someone that's mindful about responsibilities and taking care of my life and my business and my circumstances and my finances, if I can do all that, it's a lot easier for those things to carry over how I operate in music, and like treating that with the respect that it needs in order to become something sustainable.
Being a professional.
Yes.
No, you actually answered the question I was going to ask you, which was, what lessons did you learn? Because you said you learned a lot of lessons, but I think you went in great detail just about what lessons you did learn. So thank you for that. Like, what would be the advice that you would give to an artist who wanted to branch out, who wanted to get out of small town wherever and go to a place like Nashville? Because Nashville is a hotbed for music. And like you said, you run into a lot of artists that are talented, and you'll get humbled real quick. What advice would you have to an artist who wants to make a similar move like you're doing?
Sure. Where's the camera at? Where can I look at? So I'm looking at the...
Right above
Okay.
Right above it.
The best way to do something is by doing it. I think that like advice is awesome and advice is important, and if there's someone that's in a position that you want to be in, it's crucial to like listen to them and hear what they have to say. But I think a lot of people want like a moment that feels right to go for something, and a lot of people think, and I've certainly done this, like maybe I'm not ready yet, and like maybe not. But I think just like going and putting yourself in circumstances where you are going to be pushed and you are going to be challenged, I think humans are very malleable creatures, and I think when we're put in circumstances where we need to grow and we need to learn, we will do those things. And I found that by putting myself in circumstances where I would have to grow and I would have to learn in order to survive and to get where I wanted to go, like I adapted, and I think a lot of people would too.
No, 100%. No, that's a good lesson, right? Keep going. Learn from experience. Don't be afraid to make that jump into what you want to do. And like you said, you're 100% correct. You know, if you get into a situation, you're going to find a way to get yourself out of it. So life is the best teacher at all times, for sure. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. You're a very talented musician.
Well, thank you.
And talented songwriter. So I thank you for sharing that. I thank you for bringing
Yeah,
Darcy down
absolutely.
with us.
I did have a question
Sure.
though. It was more production-wise. How many layers did you have on that bridge?
What bridge?
On your song with all of like the growls, you were talking about the Joker.
Oh,
and
the
Batman.
Crystal Vision.
Yes, on
Yes.
Crystal Vision.
Just in the bridge?
Yeah, like in that, all of those layers, all of the different voices. Like, do you remember how many
I know
layers?
the track total was like 200 layers, but I think in that part it might have been
Oh.
like 40. But
Oh,
I tend to
okay.
make stuff in a very ADHD manner
Yeah.
where I'm just like, the thing I like about FL Studio is it's kind of like a sandbox. It's not like this is my guitar track. It's like I hit record and I do that, and then I have like a bunch and I can throw them wherever. So it's very, it's like probably like 200 tracks all over, maybe 40 in that point. But like it could probably be more consolidated if I had a tighter workflow.
Okay.
How
How many times did it take you to do those tracks? Like how many vocal takes?
to get the chance.
Yeah.
I think every take we did, I used in some capacity
Oh, wow.
in there. Because it got to a point where, like, we had the lead takes, we had her doing the chant, and it was just about getting volume and depth at that point, where it's like, I want to feel like you're summoning all the creatures from this realm. So it's like, how
Yeah.
many, we basically went until we were out of ideas for voices and, like, out of voice to voice with, you know? So, I don't have an exact number, but
Yeah.
it was a few.
Yeah, that was
There's a
just
lot.
a production question. So I was
a
just
good
so
production
curious.
question.
Yeah.
No, so I have some questions myself. I've been coming up with new segments for the show, and this one is called the Creative Red Flag Test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your pettiest studio habit? Like something that you have to have in the studio. Like, what is just the
Oh.
habit that you have to go through?
No
It
auto-tune.
may seem silly to other people, but
No auto-tune. He
I
knows.
did. I learned that one. I tried to she did a
Everyone.
take, and it was like so close,
And
I
he
just
did
I opened
it,
up
and I could tell.
I pitched her, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I can just do it again. I was like, I can do, but that's the thing, and
Every single person that I've worked with has tried to do that.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'll just retake it. What note do you want? Because they're like either whether not feeling it, whether I was flat and I didn't even notice. Like, for many, many reasons, I will retake whatever you need.
Yeah. No
And,
auto-tune.
No auto-tune.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What
But
you
that,
got for me,
anything
Darcy?
else, I don't really.
I don't know. I feel like I certainly have petty studio habits, and I'm realizing in this moment I'm not aware of them. So I'll ask my friends this week, and I'll get back to you.
You do some market
I don't know,
research.
Lorelai, did I have what did you notice? Did I have
The
any-
auto-tune, and that
the
was
auto
it.
tune, the unsolicited
That was literally it.
auto tune?
Oh wait, and then just being like, hey, it's fine, just record in front of me, I don't care. And then I was like, look, I just wrote the lyrics in front of you. I got very vulnerable and just like ran out and just like went and sang it without even knowing how it sounded like. You heard me sing really badly, trying to figure out the song. Why would I care? You know? And then you did it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was it.
I guess that was me being kind of precious about my own ego in that moment.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's what we do, right? As artists,
Yeah.
for sure. What's a song idea that embarrasses you, but like in a good way, though? The song idea that you've had, that you put out that embarrasses you.
I think my whole last album, I grew up super religious, and I had like kind of some rough experiences there. And I definitely didn't really deal with that for most of my life. And at, I think 22 or 23, I was dealing with some PTSD from some other stuff. I decided, like, in this weird headspace, I was going to go back in time to when I was 10 years old and make a concept album about that weird time in my life. And it's super abrasive. I'm saying all this out-of-pocket stuff. I got it out of my system. I'm glad I did. It was very healing to do. But now I listen to it, and I'm like, this is an insane thing. And I feel super weird listening back to this.
What was the feedback like from that?
I think it was mixed. I think like the people in my life that were artists and knew me were like really supportive of it.
Yeah.
And it was through that album that I met my friend TJ, who masters my stuff, because I played him 20 something, which was off of that record, and he liked it, and like we started working together and hanging out, and that was really cool. I had some really cool relationships that came out of this record. I think I realized as I was putting this record out that I didn't want this to be the record that I was known for.
Right.
So I did very little promotion for it. I was like, I'm going to make it, I'm going to put it out, I'm going to do a show, and then that's it. Like, I'm not really going
Now
to spend
people
too
hear
much.
this and they're gonna wanna hear this record.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be known for
I
this.
might have shot myself in the
Spoken,
foot there.
yeah, you spoken into existence.
But you know, people were generally like really supportive. I think yeah.
All good. How about you, Lorelai? What you got for me?
I feel the exact same way, but about my 30-track album. I
No,
let
it's
a lot
gone.
out, and yeah, I don't know. when I go back and redo it, I would just kind of like maybe notch it down a little bit, you know? Maybe get a little more concise, you know, maybe still keep 30 tracks, but like take a few out, replace a few, you know, and then maybe rewrite a few. Because there are some songs on there, like I'm sure with 20-something, everybody loves that song. You know, there's some songs on mine, like the song Somebody, I did keep that out because I can't get rid of that song.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of knows me for that song, so.
I do like that song.
Yeah. And so keeping that and keeping a couple other songs, but like going back, the song Nobody I would probably redo. Sometimes it cringes me, and then sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, I had bars chanting that with me. It's like, you know. So I don't know, moments and like meeting people, like you said, it kind of like makes me not regret it, but in a way, it is like my most embarrassing project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. No, it's tough to be vulnerable, right? It's tough to expose so much of yourself, and sometimes during the creative process, you forget that other people are going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
doing it for yourself a lot in that moment. And you not only do you forget other people are going to listen to it, but some people may really like this.
Yeah.
And they may like it a lot, so you may have to perform it a lot. Or you may have to,
Somebody.
I think to that point, part of being an artist is to go to places and to be things for a period of time and to make art about that. And so I think I find as an artist, who I was this year might not be who I was last year, but someone this year is who I was last year, and that art from last year might resonate with them. So I think in that regards, it's important to allow the art from the past to exist as it was at that time.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Someone who might be going through what you were going through, it might be you in that time, may need to hear it in that moment in time in their life. No, that's a great point, for sure. So you have the new album coming up, right?
Yes.
And we can talk about a date now. for the new
Yes.
album.
So January 30th, my album Chaotic Brilliance will be out on all streaming platforms, everywhere. And I will be having a new music video with a new song called Ran Out of Breath.
Nice.
Yeah.
What can we expect from this album?
A lot. I kind of decided to throw myself into pop, like we talked about the last time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
Released Ghosts, and gained a lot of traction, enough that I'm working my way towards like bigger opportunities. I'm having a release show on February 7th at the Green Beacon here in Greensburg. Well, not here, but like close.
Yeah, close,
Yeah, southwestern Pennsylvania. And but yeah, this album, it's very poppy, and then it gets a little more alternative and like indie rock kind of vibe. And it's about being an artist. It's about the creative process. Started with drawing a blank, ending up with chaotic brilliance, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, and it all came together. The title, Chaotic Brilliance, I know titles are important to you.
Yes.
Right? So what was the inspiration for the title?
I tried to describe how it felt to write and be in that creative process. And to me, I don't know, like there was so much chaos, and like I am all over the place. And like when I'm writing lyrics especially, like I will go back and forth and sometimes tear apart pages and take like one line from one song from like years ago and then like somehow mash it to something that I wrote at work with something that's rewritten in that moment that I'm writing it.
Right.
And I don't know, I've gotten into production a lot more. I've been producing a lot more. There are some tracks that I've done most of the stuff except for like mastering. And but I still worked with Daniel Blake and Dylan Francis from the band Hollow North. And they both really like broadened my production skills, I guess. Like they both showed me different sides to like, from like Ableton to Pro Tools to Reaper. Like I understood different DAWs and started to understand how different layers come together, and I got creative with things. With drawing a blank, it was just me like slapping the table, slapping my leg, like making different sounds. I took a song and I actually took a lot of samples from Drawing a Blank and kind of used it in a new song, made it sound completely different, put different compressors on it, and figured out, you know, how to just like work with different things, you know. And I don't know, it was just trying to describe how I felt, just kind of how I create, just kind of on the fly sometimes. Like I just kind of go and write a whole song out of nowhere. And then sometimes I'll have these lyrics written that I just kind of like think in my head, and I'll have the whole song in my head and then I go and do it. But it was just kind of like how it felt, you know?
So coming from your first project where you had 30 songs, and some songs that you wish you wouldn't have had, some
Yeah.
songs you wish you could have done differently.
Yeah.
Are you much more selective now when going through making an
Yeah.
album and putting it out?
Yeah. I scrapped so many songs, which I
That's
never
what I was
did
gonna
before.
ask next, yeah.
I used to never scrap a song, and then now it's like, if there's just one thing about it, completely gone, start over.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I work a lot more with, like I like to challenge myself, that's why I do a lot more collabs.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Ghost especially, he would ask me questions about why I use certain words, or like with Ghost, we actually had a debate if it would be ghost or ghosts.
Yeah.
And to have somebody actually ask me questions like that pushes me to kind of just
Think
be
outside
better.
of the
And
box, right?
yeah, and
Makes you grow in those moments.
yeah, and I've been learning a lot more. My goal is to kind of, I don't know, I have no idea what I'm going to write next. Obviously, I'm done writing, and, you know, I'm just doing a bunch of collabs, just trying to see where I'm at. But with this album that I'm releasing, it just feels like it's a good explanation of, like, what I've learned, how it feels to be an artist, be a creative, some challenges, and then in the end, you know, how it goes from having writer's block to writing literally every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What'd you do to break that writer's block? How'd you come out of that?
I wrote Drawing a Blank.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, coming from your first project, right?
Mhm.
And coming into this one, how have you changed? How's your creative process changed? Or
has it really?
Has it changed?
I mean, I've been writing a few different ways, but like before I wrote so many different ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would have like, I'd be working and the whole song would just come to me, and I would just write in my notes, and then I'd go home and then I'd write it in my little notebook, and then I'd go to the studio and be like, here it is. Other times I'd go to the studio with absolutely nothing in my head, no melody, no lyrics, no idea, no genre in mind. And
Right.
then just kind of like, I would talk with Dan or I'd talk with Dylan, and just kind of like feel how I was feeling that day. You know,
Yeah.
if I was feeling a more chill, calm vibe, then I would do that. But I don't know, with this pop sound, with pads and just using a MIDI keyboard, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's fun to experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becomes a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. What can we expect from you coming up, Darcy?
Yeah, I'm recording an album right now. I just put a band together in Nashville. I spent 7 weeks writing a record. Earlier this year, I decided I was going to write as many songs as I could before the end of the year, and I was going to pick the best ones, and those were going to be my album for next year. I wrote 9 songs. When I started writing the 10th one, I felt like I was forcing it. So I said, all right, these first 9 songs, I like them. I like how they sequence. I feel good about them. This is the album. So
Yeah.
I put together some demos, auditioned people for a band, got that together. We're in the process of rehearsing it right now, and we should have the album finished probably by the end of March. It's called Be Good. It's a live band record,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited for it. They're my favorite songs I've ever written. The title track is called Be Good, and it's really just like a call for decency, a call for sincerity and authenticity, and a lot of things that I feel like are kind of getting lost in the world now. Like I feel like we live in a very overwhelming time, and there's a lot of noise, and a lot of it is not even created by humans anymore. And so I want to make something that is very deeply human and is very like authentic and sincere and hopeful and optimistic and just all the things that I want to see come
Is
into
that-
fashion in the world.
Is that why you decided to go with a live band for this? Because you wanted everything authentic and human?
That was definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
The reason I ended up going with like other musicians playing the instruments is just because I think like I had a moment where I realized like there are certain things I'm really good at and certain things that I am not as good at as I thought I was. And I think playing instruments that aren't guitar, like the drums and the bass, those are some of those things
Yeah.
where I can kind of get the rough ideas and the patterns and like the vibes, but I needed to bring in people who were professionals on those instruments to really take it to that level.
Yeah.
And I think that was the right call because we've been playing them and jamming them, and I'm really loving how they're sounding and the flavors that everyone's adding. And I'm really excited for this record and for everybody here to hear it.
Yeah. No, I'll be excited to listen to it for sure. And if you ever want to come back on a platform and promote what you have going on, you're more than welcome to do so.
Sweet.
You're a friend of the program now.
Thank you.
One more time, tell the people how to get a hold of you guys if they want to follow your journey, if they want to be a part of what you guys got going on, they want to know about any upcoming shows. What's the best way to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, Lorelai Page, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all of that jazz. I have a show on February 7th at the Green Beacon. Tickets will be out soon.
I'm Darcy Saint. Darcy Saint official on Instagram. I have a website too. I'm on all platforms. I got a few records out, some songs, more to come. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys once again for joining me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you
Always.
once again.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure to meet you and hear some
Likewise.
of your background and your story. And you know, I'll be here next Saturday with another special guest on the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast. Until then, we'll see you. Peace.